Yo, welcome back to the channel, chat. Hey, go follow me on IG at 203 Pacman on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I have videos on Rumble, more exclusive stuff that I can't say on YouTube. But follow me on Rumble at PHC 203. Let's get into some of this stuff right here. I got my guy Luke up here. Let's go see what Luke talking about.
Manage those weaknesses, right? And you can get creative as to how you employ people. You don't have to be paying people salary, right? You can give people commission. You can give people revenue share. You can give people equity. Like there's so many other incentives, bonuses that you can give people in order to maintain them around. So build yourself in a way where you're focusing on your strengths.
Oh, my bad, chat.
Whatever means possible in order for you to.
Why the ending is so wild.
Well, look at society, and you tell me.
Ask me.
Wait, so let's ask the single ladies. What would you prefer?
I would prefer someone who's
All the ladies are single. All of them. It's crazy. Not one of them are in a relationship.
monogamous. I left a situation where I got the Bentley, I had all that, I had the kids, I had that. That was great. I want a companion. I want real love. And to me, what monogamy means to me is someone who's committed to themselves. That's like the answer is within you. And to be honest, I feel like, again, like the sex has been lost in translation and what it means. I don't care, man or female, it's been lost as it's so sacred. So for me, I have kind of taken those blinders off where I'm like, okay, he has to be here. I'm okay with dating the trainer in Austin, Texas.
If it's sacred, why do you run around sleeping with a bunch of athletes, a bunch of rappers? Help me make that sense. Like, help me make it sense. Like, it don't make sense at all. Nothing.
Texas. That's just where I'm at. Like, I don't need a certain thing because I know what I'm wanting. Most guys in that percentage are not going to give me. So I would rather have a monogamous man than someone who can do whatever.
So you think the personal trainer is going to be monogamous? They're like known for cheating, no?
Well, I mean, here's my thing. Like, I get it. Like, I don't generalize people because I'm one of the most misunderstood people online as well. And I feel like there's a lot more to me, and I don't like to just put everyone in a box. I'd like to get to know people. So no, I'm not gonna just say, oh, well, of course he's gonna cheat on me. Like, no.
Okay. Would you take a guy that makes $35,000 a year and had a dad bod? Monogamous?
Had a dad bod?
Yeah. Dad bod.
I feel like for me, I would want someone who.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
I pour into myself and I'm accountable for my shit. I'm aware of what I got going on. I'm not gonna have a mom bod. I'm in the gym. I had a baby a year and a half ago. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. So I would want someone who can match at least the work ethic. Now, when it comes to money, I know for me, I want to be able to, I do not.
She's gonna say I provide for myself, but she still wants a guy that's super fit, that makes a lot of money. And she hopes he be monogamous and not cheat. They wonder why they get cheated on because they go for guys like that. That's why. Guys like that. It's no way I'm gonna build myself up. When I was broke, nobody wanted me. Now I'm not broke and I'm not gonna explore my options. What? That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna explore my options. I might sleep with a girl here and there. It's not the end of the world.
I want to rely on a man. I have literally done that before. It didn't pan out in my favor, okay? Because what happens is you get the rug ripped from under you, and then now you fucking get out, bitch. Give me the motherfucking keys. It isn't that. So for me, the lifestyle I want, I am responsible for. So I don't look for a man to make X amount of dollars because anything that I want, I'm gonna get myself.
Well, because in my head, I feel like a guy's just as likely to cheat if he's in the top 20% of like looks. Just as likely as money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't.
Let me ask a quick question just so I can clarify something, because I understand your points. You're saying you want a partner, a life partner. Are you sure? And I'm not accusing. I'm genuinely asking. Are you sure you're not confusing the amount of time the man spends with you with his monogamy, because they're different things. Because what happens a lot of the time, if a man's out here chasing chicks, he's barely home. But imagine you had a man who was home 7 nights a week. He was always home. I'm talking about like an hour, like during his work lunch. You don't even notice. Then would you even give a shit about monogamy if you had all of his time effectively? Would you really care?
I still would care because I feel like it's still just an hour a day and it's not really quality time. I feel I really have been in so many different situations. Again, the trainer in Austin to the NBA player baby daddy. Like I have seen all of that stuff. And it's just my personal experience and perspective to where I want someone that sees the value in the Grand Canyon. I want somebody who
I understand. Okay.
Like,
so that's a good point. And so I'll just ask the first question. I'm gonna ask the second question. The realization you've come to is an interesting one. It is something that happens, especially to females as they mature. Don't you think it's strange, or why do you think that 0 women on earth choose those kind of men who they perhaps have slightly lower status, but are more likely to be loyal to them and be monogamous, etc. in the modern world? Because like I said, the world's changed. Why do you think 0 women choose them when they're at the peak of their choices? So when a woman is 19 and she can go anywhere she wants, every man wants her. She can go on any yacht in Miami. She can get flown out to Dubai when she has all the.
It's because women try to find herself. They try to live their life. They make it seem like it's impossible to learn and grow with a man. And actually someone that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. The best thing is to learn and grow with your forever partner. They explore things together. They make it seem that's the whole mentality in the West is crazy. All these bitches want to be hoes. That's it. They just want to be a hoe.
Choices in the world. Why is she completely uninterested in those kind of men? And then when she gets to a certain age of maturity and there's a whole new generation of girls who have all the choices, then they sit there and go, you know what? I deserve monogamy and and they all of a sudden want to grow up and mature. Why does no woman decide that when she actually is at her most valuable?
I feel like like I said, I don't like to speak for all women. I just speak for myself. But I know for me that I was looking for a man for a lifestyle, something that I was not able to do individually by myself. So that's why it's like, well, yeah, I want to be able to do this, do that. I want to go for the football player that was just on GQ. And in reality, now I realize, well, okay, there's a lot that comes with that. I can make my own money. I don't necessarily need that type of guy for the happiness that I'm looking for. Again, seeing value in the Grand Canyon.
So settle for a plumber, electrician, truck driver. There's a bunch of guys out here that make $100,000 a year. And y'all don't go for them because the titles. I'm not saying these guys don't got girls, but a lot of girls sleep on these type of people. Truck drivers make $100,000 a year. Plumbers do. Electricians do. CEOs of jails do. Cops do.
Is a lot different than like, okay, here's money for this, here's allowance for that.
And
here's
that's
an
the
hour
same
of my
thing
time.
as you asking why a man that is 20, 21, 23 is not a top G, like a 30, 40-year-old man.
No, the point,
your age actually dictates your sort of maturity to a large extent.
Well, I'm arguing the point. The point I'm trying to make is that what I actually think happens, especially in the modern world, because the modern world's all fucked up and nothing's the way it's supposed to be. The traditional life path of a female is she's 17, she's 18, she's 19, and her value is massively inflated. And I don't blame her. Of course it's massively inflated. Imagine being 19 years old, have achieved exactly fucking zero in your life, knowing nothing. You put makeup on and sports stars, billionaires, actors, the most important famous people on the planet, the richest men on the planet are begging for your attention. The ego you're going to develop, let's all be honest, right? The ego you're going to develop is going to be monumental. I'm special, I'm so gorgeous, all this bullshit, right? And then what happens as they grow older, as new generations come along, because the truth is most women are at their peak attraction, let's say in their early 20s. As they grow older, what women become is far more fearful of competition. This is why you'll see a woman who's a bit older go, oh, I really want monogamy. What she's scared of is her dude getting a 21-year-old. That's what she's fucking scared of. She may not know it. She may not say it. But basically, that's what the truth is, because she knows a 21-year-old is going to be more desirable, higher status, more fertile. That's what she's scared of.
Cheating is bad when you're 30 or 27.
So no, but it's not about that. I'm telling you the shift in the female mentality, because when a female is 20, she doesn't give a fuck about any of this. She doesn't want to find the nice man. Now she's trying to, like you're saying, chasing a lifestyle, chasing Mr. Promiscuous, chasing Mr. Famous. Doesn't give a shit until she starts getting scared. Oh shit. Oh, my age begins with 3 now. And then they change, their mentality changes. It's a fear element. That's the reality. And it's a biological fear element. I'll give you an example of it. You know what's amazing about humans? We are still very primal. When men like these two and me, when we walk through the mall, people just move. It's like you can sense when the big animals turn up, right? It's something amazing about humans. If you have a very attractive 45-year-old woman, she's gorgeous, but a gorgeous 19-year-old walks in, look at that 45-year-old woman's face. She's furious. She fucking hates her. She just doesn't like her for no reason. Yeah. Because women understand. Unfortunately, but you're.
She has competition. That's why. You know, her competition showed up.
Innately, your age is a massive indicator in your value. In an inverse way to men, men are more valuable as we get older. Every woman knows that. Every woman will sit here and go, yeah, I know a man who's older than me. Of course. But if I say it the other way around, I'm misogynistic. It's just the reality of the world. So then we have to go into the other point. The point is this. When you were at your peak value, you had zero interest in monogamy. But then you find a man who's 35 at his peak value. He's finally struggled and worked because when he was 19, no girl spoke to him. When he was 23, he was broke. When he was 24, he had no life experience. When he was 25, he couldn't fuck. When he was 20, whatever. He finally gets to the point where he's now at his peak value. Him at 35 is you when you were 19. And then you're sitting there saying to him, no, you should be monogamous. It's like, well, you fucking weren't. You did whatever you wanted in your peak. Now I'm finally got there. And I had to work for my shit. God gave you. God and L'Oreal gave you. I had to fucking struggle. I had to go through hell to get on this yacht. You got on the yacht with an Instagram DM. I had to buy it. And now you're telling me I need to fucking settle down and behave and grow up? Fuck you.
Because
yo, let's be honest. Why is this shit even controversial anymore? Like this shit, man. It's the truth. It's the facts. You might not like it, but it is the truth. It is what it is.
Bullshit.
You're assuming that the journey is a man that starts with nothing to something, because there's a lot of men that
is
have
exactly the journey of every man on earth. We are born without value.
Do you think
so there's specificity in that?
Can I just
because that's not how it should be for everybody, and that's not how it is for everybody, and not for every woman either as well. May I just say?
Can I ask Brittany something, please? You know, like, then you've learned in the past, and now you want to find someone to settle down. With hindsight now, would you have reversed it and like started young, looking for someone to settle down with, looking for those values that now you know? I'm talking about with hindsight.
Okay, well, I actually from 18 to 22, I was in a relationship. I've always actually been a lover girl, despite what I put out online for,
I've never
views.
seen you online.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, that's even better. I have always wanted one person, and I feel like I was so delusional in thinking that, oh, I'm like you said, like I have value, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm at my peak. Like, why wouldn't you want to be with me? So going into these relationships, or just like just people, my goal was always to get commitment. Like, I'm giving you my time, I'm pouring into you because I want commitment. And the reality is I never really understood my value. So I was going through guys, giving up sex, doing this, and it didn't make sense. So I believe in, like, I stand on everything I do. Like, I don't do apology tours. It is what it is. And I think that's where I feel like when they talk about women being delusional.
But they said you're on an apology tour. That's the whole thing about you going to all these podcasts, telling your story, trying to say you want this now. You and them other clips, you were saying that you was a hoe, you're taking people, man, hide your man, stuff like that. Like, now your story changed. So this is an apology tour. Make it make sense.
And all these other things, it is true, because what you have to understand is that there are repercussions to your decisions, which is fine. So then you're talking about, okay, well, I want this type of guy, I want this, that, and that. You're talking about maybe monogamy. That's 3 to 5% of animals are monogamous. I think that's what it is, right? So your window is really, really small for what you're looking for. And even to go on to the point you said, where you were talking about, it's like a subconscious fear. I think it's like, for me, I feel like if it was more of a fear, I would have just stayed in my situation. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. Like, I mean, that was my first kid. I thought I waited and did it right. I left because I believe it. There's something else on my heart when it comes to love, and I'm just going to have to trust that. And if that means being alone, having a dog, I have to take that chance, because the Bentley, the ring, the house, and still getting, again, deceived, right? Disrespected, because deceit is disrespect, right? So I cannot settle for that. I can't suck a dick and shut up. And that is where a lot of people don't like my views and what I represent because it is something new. I don't know how it's gonna fucking end. I don't know what's gonna happen.
What would you tell your 17 if you had to like? What would you tell your 17-year-old self, knowing what you know now? Looking back, and you had to meet yourself at 17. What would you tell what would you tell yourself? Like, lock it down and wait for the right man. Don't have sex. What would you tell your 17-year-old self?
That the answers aren't outside of you, because I feel like I'd always look for men to answer all of my questions that I've ever had. I thought when I had a man, it would complete me. And I feel like too, especially with like my dad not being in my life, you look for somebody to guide me. Like, so that's where for me, I put too much value in someone else.
So this is where it all comes down to. This is why she's like that. She didn't have her father in her life. That's why kids are messed up. Guy, you gotta take care of your kids, man. They come out like this, all messed up, looking for direction from other people.
Else having the answers for me. So that's why I'm really big on accountability. So I would just tell myself like to be patient, to take your time, because I was always quick. Oh, let's try to get in a relationship. Like we weren't even compatible. There's a lot of just not compatible factors. So I feel like for me it would be to slow down and to really get to know people, instead of just blindly banking on potential that most likely will never be tapped into, or selling myself short because there's a fear of, well, I don't know, this could be the best that I could get. I might as well just shut up and suck a dick.
And that's what I meant about women nowadays, because exactly what you'd be telling your 17-year-old self is what happened back in the day. So when I'm repeating these things, I'm going, oh, you're old fashioned. But it seems like women do what they like, and then they hit a certain age and say, oh, well, I've got to settle. But it's not settling. You're just getting whatever you can.
You know,
or whatever you deserve.
You know what?
Because if you think back now, you'd be telling people now, rather than say that auntie's old fashioned or auntie don't know what she's talking about, look what she be telling her 17-year-old self, which ain't nothing that I already said.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
really and truly,
You know what,
really and truly, let me finish. Because what I've always said, and you can check, I'm an older version of you. So where you've been, I've already been I've come back. So that's why I asked you.
Auntie be dropping them jewels, man. Auntie be dropping them jewels.
What would you tell your 17-year-old self? Because me telling you is, I'm telling my 30-year-old self. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So it's not that I'm old-fashioned. It's just that women hit a certain age and then realize, oh my God, it wasn't that old-fashioned. You know, it works because it does. But there's no point in waiting until you're a certain age to start thinking about it. You know, even if you're like, you hold your own accountability. So it's like if you meet somebody and they were like 17, 18, and you saw them acting a certain way, they ask you for advice, you wouldn't say, do as I do. You say, listen, this is what happened to me. And this is what I thought. And what I recommend you do is blah, blah, blah. Am I right or am I wrong? If they ask you for your advice.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I totally agree with that. I think that no matter what you decide to do, you have to accept whatever repercussions come behind that. So any advice that I give to anybody is do what you want, but just know there are repercussions, good, bad, or indifferent, that are going to come behind it. So, I mean, and I think that's just where I'm at. I don't even think it's like an age thing. I think it's like, in reality, I have a son, and you really start asking yourself questions. And again, I hate that it took having a child to really look into my life and call myself out on my bullshit.
So
that's what it usually happens. A lot of people have a child and actually understand, like, or realize that you want to strive for more. There's better things in life that you need to accomplish. Stability is the thing that you should want. A lot of people don't think about having a family until they have children. That's for a lot of people. But it seems like she's tired of being a hoe. That's it. But I think she's way too far gone. I'm not saying she can't find a good man, but the type of man she wants is gonna be hard. There's still some simps out there though that life it up. But 9 times out of 10, she got that still deep down in her, like, and it's just waiting to shine. Get it messed up one time. A new answer, you know what that is? New dick.
Got pregnant earlier. If you got pregnant at 18, 19, would it?
I was always on birth control. Okay. I was on birth control for a decade. I got off birth control because the person I was with wanted to have a baby. Okay. So again, I thought I did it right. Clearly not, because I wasn't married, but it still didn't work out because it just wasn't my guy. So that's where I just think, like, even if I still would have taken it slow, there just were a lot of people that just were genuinely not my person, and that's okay.
I would just
speaking of marriage, I wanted to know, do you think we're in a?
As many of you know, I was just.
Hey, how y'all feel about that, man? How y'all feel about that?
someone marry a girl for like status in that way?
Well, that is one of the most. I mean, if you look at arranged marriages, it's all for status, right? That's an
Uh-huh.
example. But men primarily marry for. I'd argue that men, and I say this about men, but women do the same thing, right? Women love the idea of getting status from a man. Women love the idea, and this is where it actually gets a bit messy. The waters get muddy because women love the idea of bragging about the man they're with, but they can only brag about the man they're with if other women want that man. So you're saying you love women who get cheated, women love getting cheated on. That's not true. But women do not like men that other women don't want. If you were to say, look, I got my man, he's perfect, he's rich, he did it.
So, that's crazy because women do find attractive. All women find the same type of men attractive, and they wonder why they cheat. Why the men cheat on them? It's because niggas got options. That's why you pick the winner.
And every girl in the room would go, I would never touch him. She'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button too, man. A lot of people watching my videos not hitting the subscribe button. Thanks for the support though. And hit the like.
I don't want to be either then. What the fuck?
But
is
you
that?
know, can I
So
add
now-
on top
so-
of that?
But it's true, right?
No.
Women want men that all the women want.
Do you know what's the best man that woman wants? Is the one that every girl wants, but he doesn't want them. A
Okay.
selective man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's more
But that's
valuable
the
than the top
problem.
But
G
that's
that
the
gets every
fantasy.
You're
host.
saying
That's
that
the
men,
fantasy.
I
but
just
Tate,
No, that's
you're
not the
saying that
fantasy.
men are
That's
now
not that
polygamous
selective.
and women should accept that.
Where they at then? Where they at then, man? You making all this shit up? Where they at then? You would have had one then. It's three girls here in their late 20s and 30s that ain't got none because they ain't there. They ain't out here. Stop making that shit up.
That's the problem. Men are continuously disrespecting their woman. Like, yeah, you know what? You're with one, you can't be with one woman. Now you want to keep cheating with all these
But
different women.
that's not what he said.
No, no,
He's saying
no,
if
no,
you're
no.
gonna go for a high status guy, if you're gonna go for the top 5% of guys, that's what comes with it. And if
Yeah,
not,
but
then go for the average
that's-
guy.
Can I just say though that before?
So is it okay for average guys to stick with one woman then?
It's not about okay. It's okay for anyone to do whatever they want. I'm not sitting here saying what's okay and what isn't okay. What I'm talking about is observations about the baseline realities of how humans function. What I'm telling is if you give a man unlimited options, like the men at the top of society have, on a long enough time scale, he will explore said options. That is a fact. Like I said earlier, you can walk into a car garage and buy a Nissan, and that's reliable and it'll never let you down. Or you can buy a McLaren. You cannot sit like women do and go, I want the McLaren that's reliable like the Nissan. Well, guess fucking what? That's not real. So you have to choose.
Can I
have
ask you
to
something,
pick.
Mr. Tate? Can I ask you
Oh.
something?
I want to
Years
go next.
ago, right? Do you think it makes a difference? Because years ago, if you want to meet a man, you go out there and you actually talk. But now you meet a guy, he can go and check out your IG and see what you're all about. Don't you think that by them being able to look and see what you're all about, that makes a difference to how they perceive you?
100%. I think
Hey, yo, girls that you should really take serious are girls that have private accounts that have animals as their account or animals in their account. That only post stuff with their kid with their family. If they're everywhere and they're posting all these stuff and they're out at different places in different cars, having a nice life or eating nice, and you don't see a man with it, that's a red flag. Big red flag.
society is fundamentally and utterly broken. I think the way that men and women interact is broken. I think that men are broken. I think that women are broken. I think everything is completely fucked, genuinely. And this is where we go into the small things. We're talking about status. You're right about IG. If I go on a date with a girl and I look at her Instagram page, I'm sitting there thinking, does this make me look good or bad? Yes, I want her to be hot. Yes, I want her to have followers. Yes, I want everyone chasing her. But what's that caption about fucking city life? What's this about? What's that? That's not, nah, that puts me off, right? So it's interesting. What's also interesting is the majority of women don't have a clue in the modern world what men find attractive. So we said earlier in the very beginning of this podcast about men who want their dick sucked and all this bullshit. Men don't, that's not attractive to men. We don't want any of that. Most women, if you were to say, how do you attract a man? They wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They wouldn't have an idea.
I know.
Hello.
They want a submissive woman.
Hello, my
She
name's
cooks for him.
Ganova.
Give him some massage.
not- no, but it's not-
Feed him
It's
great.
It's not just, no, it's not even
Pat his hair.
it's not just about that. The one of the important things for being a man, especially in a relationship, is we want to be our woman. If I have a woman and I love her, I want to be her portal to the world. I want her to experience things through me and see things through me. So for that, I need a degree of innocence and purity for her. I want to be the first person to put her on a private jet. I want her to get on the jet and go, wow, I did it. Oh, you took me. It's like you wouldn't want to give someone a Christmas present if they'd had 10 presents better than you beforehand.
Yeah,
Would
it's
you?
like, that's
It's like,
right.
well, duh.
Yeah.
So as a woman, what makes you attractive to a man to a degree is your innocence and your purity. This is very important. And it can go down to very basic, simple things.
I was saying this earlier. Listen, women always talk about finding herself and like they can't find herself with a man. The best way is to experience life with someone you plan on living life with for the rest of your life, your life partner. So you live your life through each other. You get what I'm saying? You experience these things together. You get what I'm saying? Now you done been with Tom, Dick, and Harry. That it's hard to show you new things for a man as a man. And this is what makes a lot of people incompatible, because you done did so much things, and now the stuff that he does is so so lame to you is because you done did them 15 times, and now you're not in it. You have no purity, no innocence.
Things. I'll tell you, if I walk in a club, do you know who the hottest girl in the club? It's the girl who isn't dancing, isn't twerking on a fucking stage, not surrounded by dudes. When girls want male attention in a club, they start drinking, twerking. That is the most revolting, haram bullshit. I may want to fuck you, but I don't want to be with you. If you show me a girl sitting in the corner, shy, I'm like, good. She hasn't experienced too much life. I can show her things. And also, not just show her things. This is a very important point that I get attacked by the Matrix for, because they completely misunderstand me on purpose. As a man, if I'm out here struggling and leading and trying to lead my household, I also want a woman who shares my values. I want, to a degree, to educate my woman and show her things and for her to agree with me. Like you said earlier, looking for a male role model. You want to be a role model to your woman. If she's too experienced with life, it's difficult to be a role model. If she's sitting there shy and quiet, you can come along and say, no, you know what? Don't take the fucking vaccine. Listen to me. And you can...
Facts. When I say Sleepy Joe is bad, she gonna be like, Sleepy Joe is bad. Facts.
Be a role model for her. You can't do that for a woman who knows too fucking much, knows too many dudes, been too many places. So it's this degree of purity that we're looking for that's super important.
I'm
though?
curious if you said if she's like done too many things, that's like bad, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm not even talking sexually, like been on a private jet.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I lived.
But how do you get on a private jet without sucking dick?
Oh, I was just curious because my dad's part of he's top 1% in terms of income, and I was just curious, is it different if you did stuff with your dad?
Well, no, that's fine.
No, not like that. Not sexual. That's not. No, I'm not like
you said private jet.
Yeah,
I know what
private.
you're saying. Well, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But my point is that we're looking for a true degree of innocence inside of females, and it's that innocence that's going to make us feel protective over them, and that the protectiveness is going to make us be good men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when we're looking at society as a whole and how broken it is, I understand that men have a massive role to play, women have a massive role to play, but a lot of the paternal instincts and instinctual behaviors of men, because the instinctual behavior of men is to die for his woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone comes to try and take her, pull a sword, die to defend her, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going through life and you find that men don't really feel about you that way, that's because a lot of their instinct is being eroded by the fact that you, like you said, they look through your IG or they look through your life and you've lived so much life, and they just feel like, there's nothing new I can bring to this girl's reality.
But I don't feel like that's true though, because I think it's I get what you're saying to a degree, right? But it's you could be on a private jet 10 times, but it's going to be special because it's with you.
Yeah.
Not for him, it isn't. Not for him. For him, it's special because it's your first time. Because men, maybe it's a biological predisposition. Maybe it's just the way we're designed. But let's tie it back to sex. Virginity, first time. It's not that you've done it. It's that you've done it with the first time with me. That's what is important. It's experience as a whole that men find. It's just the truth. Call me misogynistic, cancel me, whatever. I'm telling the truth. I always have done. It's experience of life as a whole that men, to a degree, find off-putting. We don't want a woman who's had a bunch of trauma, had a bunch of experiences, done a bunch of shit, knows a bunch of people, been a bunch of places. That's the absolute opposite of what we want. We want the complete polar opposite of that. And what's funny is women want men who have done those things. I'll tell you right now. Go out there and find a virgin woman and say, do you want to have your first boyfriend? Do you want to lose your virginity to a virgin man or a man
virgin hunk?
Or a man who's had a couple girls? She'll choose a dude. With experience as a virgin herself.
Hey, yo, it's crazy because the shit he says makes so much sense. And people get triggered over it. It's crazy because people that take so many clips and put this on TikTok. I already seen on TikTok already. They take so many clips and put it up there, and the shit he said makes sense. Like I don't get why it's even like controversial at all. Y'all let me know in the comments, man.
Experience is always coveted and respected in men. It's the opposite in women.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
so it's true. So we have to look at how fucked up the world is. Women, especially between their 18 and 28 or 18 and 25, let's say, are living these crazy lifestyles, these crazy lives with the most important people, richest people on the planet, doing everything that can be experienced under the sun. And then at 29, 30, some dude's expected to come along, know he's second place to X, Y, Z, and be happy with that. And not allow it to hurt his ego, and sit there and pick it up and put a fucking brave face on. It kills him every day inside. That's the reality. He's in love with you, and you've been fucking where with fucking who? I can't afford a jet. I'm Joe Schmo. That fucking breaks their hearts.
Do you think that hoes can ever be turned into housewives?
Okay, I'll answer that question, and the answer is actually, truthfully, yes. Which I know a lot of people are confused by. They can. If you're a good enough, high enough level man, you absolutely can turn a hoe into a housewife. But why the fuck would you? Because you don't have to. A man like me, I could, but I'm not low on options, so I would never decide to do that. If you're a billionaire, could you? You can find an old rusty car and rebuild it, or you can just buy a new one, right? So it's not about what could be done; it's about what will be done. So once women hit a certain status of man, I don't think women are stupid. I actually argue the fact that women have a beautiful intuition. I think that women, to a degree, their intuition is truly almost psychic. The number of times I've come home and she's like, "You were cheating," and I was like, "How the fuck does she know I'm fucking cheating?" Like, you have intuition and it's real. You guys are smart, right? And if they get to a certain echelon of man, they're not going to go anywhere because there's nowhere else to go. They're going to get to a guy eventually. They're going to stop at the buck and go, "You know what? Where am I going to surpass this specimen?" So I'm just going to.
Yeah, because women don't want to date down, so it'd be hard for them, and that's why when they do date down, they make the guy life hell because he can't live up to what the other guy did for her.
Behave for him. So you could turn a hoe into a housewife that way, but why would a man at that level want to do that?
Why do some guys at certain, and this is obviously a celebrity example, but I'm sure we can all think of examples in like day-to-day life where a guy with a lot of options does pick a hoe and like wife her, like for example Kim and Kanye. Because Kanye clearly has options.
She did not want to be a housewife. She was a project.
Okay, I understand. I'm just asking because some guys do pick.
Yeah, they do, and it's a really good point. And I have nothing bad to say about Kanye. In fact, I think a lot of the work he's doing now in terms of attacking the Matrix is important. But I can give you a generalized answer. But it's a man who is not true to his masculine imperative, which is going to fall for the propaganda machine, which is being purported upon him, who's going to believe that all the crap that is being told by society, like a female's past doesn't matter and all this shit doesn't matter. This is what's interesting in the fight against the Matrix, because people always say to me, "Andrew, why do you come here and say all these things?" They're literally trying to destroy your life for what you say. And the truth is, as a man, you have two choices. You either fight against the programming and the brainwashing they're trying to put inside of all of our minds, or you end up fighting against yourself. If you're a man and you sit down and you believe the garbage that society is telling you about how society functions between men and women, you're going to end up getting fucking wrecked like these dudes do. They sit there and go, "Just because she's fucked everyone doesn't mean she'll do it again." Just because, and they sit there like dummies and they get fucking wrecked, right? You have to sit there as a man and go, "No, I don't give a shit what society's telling me. I understand something baseline about humanity," right? And that's why they make these poor choices. And a lot of men do make these poor choices, but it's only in the West. It's only in the West where this propaganda machine exists. You will not find a Russian billionaire doing this dumb shit. You will not find a Chinese billionaire doing this dumb shit. You do not go to Saudi and find a sheikh doing this dumb shit. No.
That's why you got to give me a nice. I'm not marrying no woman from America, period. Give me a nice Muslim woman. Feel me? And I'm good. She has to wrap her head. I'm not going to tell her. I'll meet her. She's already going to be into that. I'll be good.
None of it. You only find it in the West.
Do you think the values of the West are spreading?
What values?
So
name a value. Of the West.
Sorry.
As many of you know, I was.
How y'all feel about that, chat? Put it in the comments, man. Bro, what? Pause it? What happened, bro? Hey, yo, Dan, what you talking about, bro? All right, chat, man. I see y'all tomorrow, man. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go to work in the morning.